Hi, everybody. It's Friday, July 9th, 2021. It's Stefanie Drysdale's weekly cyber recap, number 79. Good gosh, I'm tired. Miss Stefanie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Chuck. How are you?
I'm hot, and I don't mean that in a particularly physical way, but it's going to be 115 degrees out here today. And we're in for some heat spells, and all across the country, even Northern California is getting over 110 today. It's hot on the West Coast.
It is very hot. I don't envy you at all. So stay cool and stay safe.
But I'll be safer if you tell me what's going on in the cyber world.
Let's hope so, right? So this week, Info Security Magazine shared a disturbing story about a 12-year-old and his family who experienced a full year of cyberbullying that pushed the victim to the point where he nearly took his life just to stop the harassing messages and the online account tampering. So even after reaching out to a school, the internet provider, law enforcement, the bully remained anonymous and continued online assaults. And only after the bully's mom discovered his behavior did the harassment end. Still, there's been no attribution or punishment for the bully. Not all law enforcement have the resources or tools or capability to investigate these types of internet crimes, which really, I think, stresses the importance of private sector partnerships when an escalation is really the only answer. So feel free to reach out. Dan Norman shared a Financial Times article titled "Older Workers Are a Secret Weapon Against Cyber Attacks." It talked about how workers over 50 are oftentimes overlooked in favor of younger workers with more modern skills. But as our dependencies on tech increase, so does our vulnerability to ransomware and disruptions due to things like natural disasters or earthquakes, flooding, and now, to your point, Chuck, to heat waves. So bringing back manual skills would serve as an important backup to ensure the resilience of those companies, as well as utilize valuable workers that otherwise might not have a role to play in fields like manufacturing or transportation, healthcare, financial services, and who knows what else, while they teach younger generation skills that would otherwise be lost without them. Lots of talk this week about Cassia being the latest inductee to the Mega Million Dollar Ransomware Club, a club that no one wants to be a member of. Like most ransomware victims, it seems to have originated from maybe a phishing email or vulnerable portal. There's still, some back and forth on that one. The hackers went straight for a fresh vulnerability that Cassia was in the process of patching, sadly, just a little bit too late. So please don't wait to see where your organization stands on reaction and recovery in the event that you go through this awful situation. One of the reassuring trends that seems to be gaining a little bit of traction is companies minimizing damage by enabling multi-factor authentication, teaching security awareness training, keeping current backups air-gapped, and having a plan to quickly react to any anomalous behavior in their systems and contain the threat while knowing who to contact for help. So please do reach out if I can be of help. Bob Carver shared a CNBC article titled "Talking to Your Board About Ransom Payments, Here's How." So based on a recent CNBC Global CFO Council survey, it cited that 85% of US-based CFOs as saying that their boards have had formal discussions about recent cybersecurity attacks. The problem, however, is that often boards don't know what the standards are, what's risky or not, and what makes it impossible to know the right questions to ask CEOs and CTOs to determine exactly how vulnerable that they truly are. So it recommends to start the conversation with three main questions. So how is the company positioned to prevent a ransomware attack? Is there a way for the company to know a ransomware attack is in progress? And what's the plan for responding to a ransomware demand? So beyond that, boards should be asking how often data is backed up, how confident management is that backups would remain unaffected should an attack occur. Hopefully, the response from the CTO or other IT leaders would be that they are stored offline and in a separate location from the network or in a cloud service, and that they are confident that the company would be able to recover data from these backups. So, of course, when they need to discuss the legal perspective and communications plan for the workforce, customers, and vendors, it just stresses the importance of the technical messenger to be able to translate their deep technical knowledge into really clear, understandable terms that focus on executive priorities and business goals. Ultimately, the CEO will need to make a call as to whether or not a ransom would be paid, but only after they have full awareness of the impact and the other options for recovery. So, great article. Perry Carpenter shared a wonderful interview he hosted with several talented and respected experts on social engineering. The first part, titled Deceptionology 101 Introduction to the Dark Arts, it had me at the Harry Potter reference, and it kept me with so many realistic examples of effective social engineering ploys and tips for responding to those. I really loved how they stressed that anyone can fall prey, because by definition, the social engineer is just using the very common things that make us all human to work against us into their own favor. So I'll be sure to link it for you all in the comments below, but be sure to catch that. And that's what I have for you all this week. I hope you're well and heading into a very fun, relaxing weekend, staying cool, Chuck. And I hope you all have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all next Friday.